Guys together all the time on social media. Are you guys just like best friends? What's your relationship like?
The best of friends. We haven't been like really secretive about it, but we are dating in real life.
They're the cutest. I'm so jealous of Joe and Frankie. I'm in full support.
And yeah, and working with this guy is always just a dream.
It's not a secret that you guys are dating off screen as well as on. Can you share a little bit about how your romance blossomed off screen while it was forming on screen as well?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think on the first day I worked with Joe, they put him on the piano and he was playing the piano and he was like playing some musical theater stuff when the cameras weren't rolling. And I was like, oh, that's it. Like, I'm done. I'm in trouble. Like, and I just like knew I was going to have a crush on him. I was like, this can't happen. But no, I mean, he's so sweet and nice. It kind of just, started off as friends and then, here we are.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little scared of Frankie at first, to be honest, just because he's so confident and funny, and he like, if he's in the room, like everyone's just laughing and having a good time. So I was just like sort of intimidated at first, but then, we got to know each other, like he said, and it was like, oh, okay, I think we have a good relationship here.
Character Joe sings The Climb to Carlos. Would you say that's your favorite song you sing this season? And when recording it, did you get to sing it to Frankie? Like, was Frankie in the studio with you?
Can you imagine? I'm just like
redo that. Just kidding.
I'm like, no, that wasn't it. Higher.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of my favorite things I got to do this season for sure. And no, I actually wanted it to be more of a surprise for Frankie. So I like tried to practice it whenever he wasn't around. And then, no, he was not in the studio. I was just there alone, but yeah, doing it actually on camera he was there. So that was cool.
Speaking of Seb, played by Joe, you guys have a very tight-knit relationship. You guys, I think you quarantine together and, you hang out a lot on set. Do you think having that big bond together has helped to kind of create a very accurate relationship on TV? Because I'm just speaking for episode 2, you have this little interaction where Seb has a little bit of an airhead moment and you're like, oh, sweetheart, was that kind of improv or was that written in? And how do you think it influences your performance?
Yeah, well, a lot of speculation online, but me and Joe actually do date in real life.
Here, I was tiptoeing around it. I'm just glad that we talked about it. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So we've never shied away from the fact that we have been dating, but we also have not been like, we're dating. But yes, we do date in real life. We did quarantine together, and that alone was its own experience. But no, to get to go to work and act with someone you care so much about and just know that they're always going to have your back, even in that scene, it leaves a lot more room to like play around with the characters and the scenes, because there's just there's just more chemistry other than what you're seeing on screen. So that's always fun.
So I have to ask, you guys quarantine together, you work together. Any words of wisdom? Any words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom. I mean, I don't know. Like, Joe is like the nicest person on the planet. So it would be me that you might want to ask him how he feels with me. But no, just find someone that you can like really laugh a lot with, and that you can just like sit and veg out and like watch TV and just be unapologetically you with. I think, I don't know.
Frankie told us like, oh yeah, we're dating in real life. So I want to know, how is it like to work with your boyfriend and also be boyfriends on TV? Like, I asked him, like, do you have any words of wisdom? But he said, I'm the annoying one. You'll have to ask Joe.
That's funny. It's wild. I would have like never imagined that this is where I was going to be if you asked me like 2 or 3 years ago. I guess 2 years ago we were filming. I don't know. Anyway, 2 or 3 years ago, I would have never known. And it's wild. we were watching the show, the new episodes, and I was like, oh, it's actually kind of weird seeing Seven Carlos, because I don't think that's us. Like that's
Really?
Seven Carlos versus like Frankie and Joe. And I mean, like they are different. They're characters of us, you know? So that's actually really interesting, but I think we like keep it pretty separate. And yeah, I mean, he's the freaking best. I guess my words of wisdom would be, communication is key.
Okay.
You know, and, you know, just being open and honest about everything, and, you know, always laughing and keeping things light and a good time.
Yeah, I'm taking notes. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's great. I feel like I want to know now, when you say like you're different than your characters, I felt like Carlos and Frankie kind of have a lot of similarities, and you're kind of like, you seem very sweet. Obviously, we just met, but you seem very sweet, just like your character. How different do you think you are from your characters?
I don't know if it's that like we are that different from our characters, but I guess our relationship is different than Carlos and Seb's relationship. Like, you know, they're in high school, so they're, you know, they're just younger.
Yeah.
And I think we're just older and like a little more mature than them in a way. Like they're kind of like nerdy.
A little bit.
Like Frankie and I are like, you know,
cool.
Yeah,
I feel like you guys would be like the cool uncles for sure. For sure.
Oh, I hope so.
Yes.
I don't want to like belabor the point that you and Frankie are in a relationship, but I want to thank you for the positive representation that you two give to the LGBTQ plus community. I think what I love about the way it happens on High School Musical, the series, is it is not a big deal. It's never commented on. It just is. And I think that's how it's supposed to be. So you have a boyfriend. Awesome. Now where are we going to go eat? And I think the fact that Nini's moms, she has two moms, never a comment, never a story on where she came from or who adopted, or, I mean, I just think it is such a huge step forward. And I just thank you for being part of that. Yeah. And for sharing so much of your personal life, because I know as I sit and exploit you, that's got to be tough, like to have a regular relationship and it to be talked about all the time. But
you would think so. But honestly, like doing it with Frankie, I feel like we have like really enjoyed being able to like share it with people and like, you know, I feel like,
you're having fun every time you're on anything.
Yeah, we have a great time.
And when I went down that YouTube rabbit hole, you guys have done so. I couldn't decide which one to pick, because you guys have like read children's stories, and then you'll just duet this song
from then on. So you two are dating, yes, in real life? How did that happen?
Oh my gosh! Well, look at this face. I mean, how could you not? No, but I always tell the joke, like once I heard Joe play piano for the first time, it was like over. I was like. But no, yeah, it was the piano. It was definitely the piano. Oh my gosh, I hope more than that.
How for you?
Well, no, I mean, of course, Frankie is just like such a fabulous human being. Of course, he's like just hilarious and such a joy to be around, but also like a very hard worker. And I don't know, I just like was so enamored with him when I first met him, and from then on it was just like, okay, I think we like each other.
Lovely. You admire each other too. How does the dynamic between Carlos and Seb compare to the dynamic between you?
I think it's a little different, but I think there are still some similarities. At the end of the day, we're both theater kids, and they are like, you know, theater kids at heart. So I think that similarity is there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a farm boy. But you're not? No, but he's from the farm. So I am from the farm. It's kind of like a switch up. Yeah.
So on the show that we're going to watch, you guys have a relationship on show and in real life. How's that?
I mean, it is kind of fun to like almost like it does kind of feel like home videos, even though that is not us, but when you watch it, you can remember like certain stories about like things that happened when the cameras went down, or like, oh my gosh, remember when we did this during that take? So it's super fun.
Yeah, it's a blast.
First, I have to ask you a question because I'm nosy. So I love that Carlos and Seb are a couple on the show, but I understand that you guys are actually dating in real life. Is that true?
What?
Yes, we are.
So cute. I absolutely love it. Do you like working every day with your mate, or is it like, let's not get in a fight because we got to work together?
No, we have such a good time, and I think I think we actually like when we're at work, we kind of like do our own thing, and I feel like when we come home at the end of the day, we always have like different stories to tell each other of what happened in the day. So, it's fun. Really fun to share the experience.
So what if they then on the show they have your characters get into a fight and it gets a little too real?
Yeah, right.
just fighting.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hasn't happened.
Thank you so much for your time this morning, Frankie and Joe. You two are amazing, and I love you two together. Much success to both of you.
Thank you. Mwah. Oh my gosh.
They're so sweet. I love them.
They're all synced up and everything.
So what is it like working with Joe, your real life partner, on the show? I know you guys met on the show, and it was like just love at first sight, sparkles in the eye, the whole story. What's that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, he's just literally the nicest person ever, and he's always so much fun to be around. But it is kind of cool because we kind of do our own thing at work, and so when we get home, it's nice that we just have like two different like versions of the day, but we know exactly who we're talking about, and it's that part of it is fun.
There's a lot of work.
Yeah. I
won't lie. So what's it like dating your co-star?
Oh my gosh. It's the best. It is actually kind of weird because we obviously are in a lot of scenes together, but when we're at work, we kind of do our own thing. So we're like rarely off in a corner by ourselves. Yeah. Like being a couple at work, but no, it's nice, and it is kind of fun at the end of the day. Obviously we both have very different perspectives of what happened during the day, and it is kind of nice to like go home and be like, oh, did you see that someone said this and this and this, and like they know exactly who you're talking about, and like you don't have to explain anything. So it is fun to get two perspectives for the price of one, I would say.
Yeah, I was watching the show last night. I was watching some of season 2, and I have a friend who loves this show. He's like a fanatic. I recently started watching it, and he's been watching it the whole time. And I love it too, but he's watched it longer than me, so I'm gonna give him that. But he loves your character, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be interviewing him, and he was like, oh my god, I'm so excited, because of like he's a gay man as well, and like he loves the representation. And like I remember before I watched the show, he came into the other room and was like, oh my god, two guys just kissed in this Disney show. Like he was freaking out and was so excited about it, and the fact that you guys are dating in real life is so cute, and like I love it. Thanks. So I'd love to know if like your relationship with him evolved the same way that Carlos's did with Seb.
We became very, like, obviously the whole cast is very close, and especially that first season when we hung out, all of us hung out. So when Joe came on, and he was there since day one, so we kind of just like, he was now part of this whole gang, and we just started out friends, and then we started having one-on-one rehearsals for the homecoming dance and stuff and those scenes, and so that's kind of like where everything started. So the timeline actually is kind of fitting to Carlos and Seb during the first season, but it's kind of crazy. But now it's been like, because of the pandemic, it's been like 8 years since we shot that, so some time has flown.
Yeah, they're like, yay, 6 months, and you're like, it's been like 5 years.
I mean, literally, it's been a long time. I can't believe it took this long.
Yeah, that's so cute to like know that in season 1, it's like we're actually kind of watching you guys. Like,
yeah, and it is like the timeline is almost exact. Like we yeah, I know like people have been trying to figure it out too online, so it's kind of funny to talk about it. But yeah, you're the first one to ask, so there you go.
But that's why I was like, you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, because I know.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's nothing crazy personal.
But I love you guys.
Oh, thanks.
So